Guys, welcome back to Dorney Park. It's been a long time since we were last back here, but we are back here again this year for Winter Chill Out 2025. Just like that, we are in.
Everybody, welcome to 2025 Winter Chill Out here at Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom. I'm actually going to address you on the stage here, the Midway main stage, in just a few moments. Just want to wait for everybody to come back from using the restroom. We're so thankful that you're here. We are going to do an official presentation and a Q&A at about 9:25. But as I mentioned, 2025 Winter Chill Out at Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom. I will say, give yourselves a round of applause because thanks to you, we are raising thousands of dollars for LVHN Riley Children's Hospital. So thank you very much. 100% of the ticket proceeds will go with Ann here and a big check presented by Snoopy ASAP. So we appreciate you being here today. Wish the weather could have been a little bit better, but I don't think that dampened any spirits. Maybe just your hoodies, your park apparel. Quick announcement before I get started. Bob Kane, the gentleman at the merchandise store, she's gonna model this for me. We've got some new merchandise for the season, and it is all available for purchase today. So if you're wondering, is that just a display or can I buy that? You can buy that. And I'd say the best time to do it is as you make your way out. Then you can grab, I love this by the way, grab a nice Hydra stuff. It has 5 heads. I don't know if anybody remembers the old one, but it had 2. This is much better. So you can grab these on your way out. There's also some new Iron Menace merchandise. And so Bob and Kim and team work really hard on developing this merch, and this hoodie's awesome. So make sure you grab that on your way out. Katie, who is our recruiter for human resources, is also there. So if you have any interest at any point in time getting into the industry or working at Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom, I would encourage you to talk to Katie. She knows way more than I do, and she's been doing this for a long time. So feel free to stop by and talk to her as well. As you folks noticed as you made your way in, the carousel horses are covered. And a lot of that is because as we prepare for the spring, we still got to make sure that the rides are well taken care of, even though we're starting to bring things out. So you're going to see some things in what I like to call the process. And our maintenance team works really hard to not only preserve things in the winter and it feels weird with this thing. I feel like I'm along for the ride. I was choking in. So there you are. Now we can start. I waited just for you. No problem. So as I was mentioning, you're going to see some things in process. Our maintenance team works really hard, but as they get things out, they still want to make sure that they're not exposed to the elements while we're maybe not operating yet. So you're going to see things covered. If you have any questions along the way, we're going to have a lot of great people that can talk to you. Today you're going to get a great behind the scenes at Talon. Of course, we had to do Hydra because it's its 20th anniversary. 3 cheers for Hydra, or applause. Yay. Yeah. Great ride. Talon, a great ride. I think I twisted everybody's arm to do Talon because it's my favorite at the park. Sans Iron Menace, which is our baby. We are also going to get to go into Wildwater Kingdom today, which is great because it's the 40th anniversary. So let's do Dorney and Wildwater Kingdom. So we had to add that today. Lightning Falls and Cascade. We've got some stuff set up out there so you guys can see as we begin the construction process. As you know, we're reimagining it, reinvigorating it, whatever you want to call it. So you'll see the fiberglass out there, and we're getting the process started, so they'll walk you through that. You'll also get to see the revamp of Tradewinds, which is moving kind of across the midway. And you'll also get to see construction in process at 21 and Colder, which is our new bar experience in Wildwater Kingdom. So we're excited to show you all that stuff. Also got some kind of maintenance behind the scenes for you today. I won't spoil that too much. And you're also going to get to see our food and beverage team hard at work, and they've got some great things for you to sample and taste. So that's something new this year. Really excited to show that off. So yeah, you get some taste of the 2025 season. There's also snacks in Whitewater Tavern. I will encourage you, once we go there, we do the presentation, make sure you use the restroom before we leave. There are restrooms open throughout the park. But it's always easier if you get it done before you start moving, so you don't have to raise your hand within the first 10 minutes, because I have been that guy. Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to make our way straight back. So if you know the park really well, Whitewater Tavern, which used to also be a Chickies and Pete's, we're going to go back there and we will have an official presentation so we're not standing out in the cold all morning long. Thank you once again for being here. We appreciate it.
And we are now making our way down to Whitewater Tavern. Presentation is now over, and we are heading down to Hydra, which is now celebrating its 20th anniversary this season.
Put the introduction halfway through, so those of you that don't know, are like, who is this guy? My name is Ryan. I am the public relations manager for Dorney Park. Recently took on a new role, and I am the East Region Public Relations Manager. When you say East Region, it sounds like a lot, but for me, as you can see, it's pretty much New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So what happened was, I took over Great Adventure for Public Relations as well as Dorney Park, kind of effective around January. So, and I think that's actually a really good selling point, is that you will get to enjoy, that is not that one. That's Top Thrill 2, okay? But you could experience with an all-park passport new rides this season for the entire Six Flags chain, which include Rapterra and Flash Vertical Velocity, wink, wink, come see me, at Great Adventure, as well as great rides like Top Thrill 2, and there are numbers throughout the chain. I'm sure you all saw some of the coverage of, or maybe you didn't, Georgia Gold Rusher down there in Northern Georgia this week. So that's something you can do, plan some cool trips, some weekend trips. If you're not a numbers person like me. These are some of the great things coming for next year for those of you who would like to look ahead and like to plan. In case you're thinking, man, Ryan, it's kind of late to start planning trips to all these Six Flags parks. Well, here's some good things coming to the chain next year. And I will mention there, somewhere in the middle, there's Great Adventures. There's a record-breaking launch coaster. That's really all I can say about it at this point. There's also a new family thrill attraction at Kings Island. Who's ever been there? That's out in Ohio. So a lot of these things, pretty reachable in a day drive or a weekend trip. All right, click that. Oh, my audio. I'm probably muted. He says, oh my God, wow. Anyway, you can click Marshall. Let's talk about Dorney Park.
And some attention being paid to it. You were going to yes. So we will not be renaming these slides. It's kind of more of a retract, if you will. We're keeping a lot of the same structure, the same footers, but it is from Whitewater West. These two slides, they would be identical to the ones that's here at Point. It was also put in the same ones because they originally both were the same rides and structure. And as you can see, it's definitely an upgrade. So it's going to be a two-person raft experience. I should say tube experience, not raft. And then we have the whitewater, interesting different spots throughout, which will do different effects as you're going through the tunnels. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I think there's another picture. Something like this, right? So when you're going through, it'll give you a different experience, and it'll be something that I think we do here at the park. I think we have some of this on some of the glass and some of the newer glass and some of the other slides, but I think this will be a major upgrade. And Lightning Falls is front and center in our water park. When you walk down the pathway, it's right there on the hill. I think it'll be a safety piece. It'll be very photographable, and I think our guests will love it. Yeah. All right, so we are moving the bar schooners into the old retail space. 21 and Colder is a concept that's been rolled out by our company. I think Kings Island opened one last year. There might be another park, but this place is going to be indoor seating. So if you need to take a load off and cool off, and sit down and enjoy a drink, it'll be much nicer this year. And I have been told over and over that we don't offer that in a lot of the places here at this park, a chance to get out of the elements. So this will be a nice reprieve, something nice for our guests. And then the retail location, we are moving that to the other side from where it currently is, to where Schooners and the subway is. So all the retail will now be based across the street, if you will. I am not a retail expert. I started in ride operations, so in retail, how high you can merchandise is a pretty important thing, and how far you can go up the wall. And if you look at the old one where we were before, the ceiling was really low. I think it was not even 8 feet. So it was really limiting in what merchandise we could put in there. And it was causing a lot of logistical challenges for our staff because there was no storage. We had a shed behind the fence, behind the site fence that we had that they would regularly have to resupply inventory throughout the day. It just wasn't ideally set up. This may come as a shock to you, but this park was not master planned. That used to be a front gate. I don't know if you can tell from the water park, there used to be a front gate. So they converted into these other locations, and now we're just trying to make better choices with our space, because space is important. But that'll give you an idea of what the inside will look like of the store. And I'm really excited that it's going to be a much better experience for people while they're shopping and finding their needs here at the market. So once again, you can kind of see the areas that are affected. We will walk out there today and show you guys those locations and where we are with construction. And then we have our live entertainment.
Let's see, there's parts of the train over there. Trains are not quite back on the track yet, but hopefully in the next upcoming weeks they start installing it. Now we are heading back down. I believe if it's just like last year, we're going to go check out Hydra's Helix. So it should be cool.
It's completely powered off. There are no trains on the track, so we are not in danger, so we are free to walk in here. We are going to go down under the Cobra Roll, which is in versions number 4 and 5 right together. We ask that you do stay off the rocks though, because it is very rocky, obviously. We don't want to twist an ankle, so please be careful. It is a little bit muddy, but not too bad. End of the season.
Now we are heading up to the Good Time Theater. I haven't been here in a while. Actually, I don't think I've ever been in here, so it should be great to see. Some of the ride vehicles from Plant Snoopy stored away.
Come on in, squeeze up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil. I'm the manager of entertainment. I've got a couple of my wonderful folks here with me.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan. I'm an area manager of entertainment.
It's too much for a theater right now, but we are using it for a lot of other things that are very important to what we do here out in the park. Right now, this is a warehouse, this is a production space, this is also where we do rehearsals for all of our shows, this is where all of our performers take their breaks. It's just a big catch-all of a lot of different things. But I just wanted to show you a few things of the tech side of things that we do in the park. First off, behind you is one of our aquaplane machines. It's a water analyzer that shoots up big clouds of water and smoke to make it look like it's a fire. We use those behind the Iron Man sign. If any of you were here for Haunt last year, you would have saw that at the sign. We're going to probably use those all summer long this year to add to the menace of it all. We have right here also the brand new sign for our new festival, Viva La Fiesta. It's going to not replace, but just rebrand Summer Nights. Last year, Summer Nights was the first time we did that. And, you know, I think People at Fiesta tells the story of what we're trying to do a lot better than Summer Nights did. So we use these to get our penis characters from one place to another throughout the park. You know, we wanted a couple years ago to get our characters out of Planet Snoopy to be able to share them with the rest of the park. And this is how we do that. Since they can't walk super far from their dressing rooms and where they're at, we take them around on these cars right here. We have 3 of them. They're electric golf carts with really cool body kits that we got customized for us. It means that it's outdoors. It can get wet. It can't be out there all year long, but it has a good, 6 months to be outside and have to come back in and get cleaned out. So one of the things throughout the entire park. It just goes to show like how much it takes to be able to do that. Any questions out here? You're welcome.
It's so cold.
You can fit one in the empty space over there. There's some more people coming on in. Magic happens. This is where our seamstresses are hard at work throughout the entire operating season. As you walked by me, you saw we have our Alfundo heads out here. We have 2 of the original Alfundo heads, one from around the 1940s and the other one is from around the 1960s. And these were kindly donated to us by a long-time friend of the park as well as a big history buff of the park. So obviously we don't use these anymore. They are in quite the rough shape, but we wanted to bring them here to the park, bring them back home for whenever we can use them, like an event today. The 2 Alfundo heads behind you, or behind the original ones, are the ones that we currently use in the park. So we have an Alfundo and then an Alfredo, who we introduced last year during Haunt, and he was a great addition to our product here. Also behind me, you can see I have Morgan, our Steel Force monster. Does anyone know why he's named Morgan? In the back. The manufacturer. Right, Morgan is the manufacturer of Steel Force, the coaster. Over here hanging up are all that he can wear. All of them except for the one in the middle was all made in-house. So the one in the middle came with the original costume that we bought 5 years ago now. But all the others are made in-house by our talented seamstresses here for 4th of July. We had one made for when we had Grand Carnival. Alfredo's costume is there, as well as a daytime friendly Halloween one. Everyone can stay there. I'm just gonna be very upset with me when I chose this design, because to get the striping to line up on each side is very difficult, but as you can see, it looks really great. They did a really good job with those. These next ones here, has anyone ever seen the show All About That Bass Mascots the one year? And we found that Morgan was like the easiest one to pull off with the costume manufacturer. I had this question in the last group as far as like, do we plan on doing others in the future? Yeah. Right now we don't have plans for that, but we certainly have the means to do it if the demand is there for it. Crazy clown, haunt monster. Okay.
Online things, Sleepathon, and for our time to sell props for our our holidays. Sometimes the Peanuts will ask to hold, something for Valentine's Day. 2-part silicone mixture from a company called Smooth On. If anyone is familiar with Smooth On, that's like my toy store. It's about 5 minutes down the road. Essentially, they're a chemical company that I buy all my things to make our things with. So this is an example of one of our silicone prosthetics, and we just kind of use some of our makeup paints, and we're just going to keep layering and layering and layering and layering, and she's going to look like a rotten zombie when I get it all finished with that.
Now I believe we are heading into Wildwater Kingdom to go check out the new refresh of Lightning Falls.
Talon trains every winter. Old trains will come through here. We'll take them completely apart. We'll put them back together. We're in that process now with the second train. First train's already done. Back up its bay. stuff that we would do in a refurbishment. We would take all the parts apart and the pins and the shafts and all the welds and stuff that go around the trains, get inspected through the process called NDT, which is non-destructive testing. Just a sample of kind of some of the equipment that's there and some of the stuff we use, but basically you take a pin from a wheel and you would spray it with a liquid solution, magnetize it, and then look at it in a dark room under a black light. And if it was it, take it through and we take it apart and put it back together.
Thank you for keeping it down. One of the best BM roller coasters around.
Thank you.
You guys are totally underrated.
Try.
No, you guys do.
Yeah. So with the lap brackets up here, the fingers, they go in these little pockets on the back of the seat column here. They're all in here, in these pockets here. They all kind of work together with this.
And then 4 times a year, B&M requires us, B&M's the manufacturer of Talon, for those who don't know, B&M requires us to do a close visual inspection, which is within 2 to 3 feet of the track. 90% of it we can do with man reaches, boom lifts, and the other 10% we just hook in and walk in. Once one of those inspections, so annually, B&M says that we have to verify torque on 5% of our bolts. We have roughly 8,500 fasteners on this ride, which comes out to about 450 bolts that we have to torque check every year. You can do it the old-fashioned way with an 8-foot long torque wrench, which is kind of tricky at 140 feet in the air. Or you can use a digital torque gun. It's kind of like a drill that you just pull a trigger and it. Track inspection. Every day we do a visual track inspection from either one. Usually it takes 2 operators, one to operate the drone and one to operate the camera. You have to be FAA certified as a drone pilot, which we do have a FAA pilot on staff. And then your camera operator has to be a level 2 NDT inspector, which you guys learn about downstairs. Well, the tech people out there, it is 1080.
Was this brought on because of what happened with Fury 225?
This has been in the industry for a while. It's just evolving technology and taking our jobs really easy.
How many times are to get the aerial lessons and spots checked? And they still use our trends.
Yeah. And that only does, well, it still requires just visual. Still needs to be
We have today. Yeah. One time it didn't. It just literally yeah, everybody's like faces in the station were like not to panic, it'll stop on its way.
It was a Batman adventure for 2 years and really
Is Jan finished with us now?
He just had to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Awesome. Great. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Kim Solis, and I am the Director of In-Park Revenue. which essentially equates to I run everything in the park that you can buy. So I do food and beverage, and I do merchandise. I also do like rentals and games and literally everything that you can spend your money on when you're in the park. So for those of you guys that may not remember, you know, we're right here at the entrance of the water park. And this building over here was Trade Winds, which is the main gift shop for the water park. And then over here, this was Subway and Schooners, which was the bar, the newer bar right in the water park. So let's talk about Trade Winds first for a second. So Trade Winds is the largest gift shop in the water park. There's like a stall that's right there and a little bit of other merch that had been in places. This is really the main gift shop. This gift shop rivals Good Time Gifts at the front of the park in terms of how much money it'll make in the summer, which is crazy to think about. If you've ever walked into Trade Winds and you know how big Trade Winds is compared to Good Time Gifts, it's an incredible difference, right? But it's like turning and burning. There's so much that's going through that gift shop, and if you've been in there, you know it's not set up well. It's in an L shape, so it's hard to shop. There's 2 different cash wraps. So you kind of don't know where you're going. It takes a little bit of time to get through everything. It's not a very efficient process, not efficient shopping. It's not comfortable, to be really honest with you. Kayla also runs it with me, and it's not enjoyable. It's not a good time. Sometimes I stand in there and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. My boss will be with me and she'll be like, I have to go. I can't stand in here. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. We got to fix it. So if you look at the building, you see like there's this bird's nest up here. This side of the park, like right where this runner is, this had been the entrance of the water park initially. So there's a ton of like electric and network and machinery that's in the top of this building. And we can't raise the building. We can't raise the ceiling. So if you remember, it's claustrophobic because the ceiling is really low in that store. Yeah. It's at like 8.5 feet. And if you know anything about merchandising, we merchandise at the 8-foot and below mark. Yep. And above 8 feet is displays. So you can like see what you're looking for, and you can like kind of directionally know what's going to be in there. Well, we can't do that in that store because the ceiling's too low and I can't raise the ceiling. We talked about demolishing the store. That was not a thing that was going to happen. So we decided the best thing we could do was swap the 2 buildings, which in reality sounds so much easier than it actually is. And at the time I was like, oh, this is great. This is such a great idea. Oh, it's going to be so simple, like no big deal. And then we started doing construction. I was like, oh, this is rough. This is a rough situation. So first we'll talk about what's happening here. So Subway and Schooners, we took out all the things that are in between to make it a straight shot. And we'll walk over there so you guys can see the construction. I can't have you cross the threshold, but you can like take pictures and look at what's happening in there. So we removed everything, made it a straight shot. If you're familiar with Steelyard Gifts, the merchandising style will be very similar to Steelyard Gifts, as in like it's in sections. There will be displays up top. It'll be really easy to shop. There will be one centralized cash wrap in the entire store, so it'll be much easier. It'll be shotgun styles. It'll be very quick and efficient. We're also, as we walk this way, that was the bar entrance. That entrance will remain, but we're going to take this awning and pull this awning out probably 7 or 8 feet. And then this whole section will become a whole marketplace. So then people will be able to shop the market, go inside. We'll have a register that's coming off of this like red panel here, because that used to be an ATM. So there's power and electric in there. So we can like roll a register in and roll a register out. So people can go to that register, shop the marketplace, be in, be out really quickly. I'll let you guys walk up. Please don't press the threshold, but you can see how much has happened and how different this whole thing is like, right? Really easy to shop, one full, comfortable merchandising stuff. The other great thing about this is with this change, we're going to start to develop product that is very specific to Wildwater Kingdom. So if you were here last year, you might have noticed there was like 1 or 2 pieces that were Wildwater Kingdom specific. We're going to have more of that. We're also going to start to develop into other things like the rides. So very much like what you see in the hard park, where we have Talon product, we have Steel Force product, Iron Menace product. We're going to start to like pick and choose some of the rides here, and you'll start to see those items featured. We'll have magnets and keychains and different things that call out those rides. Because I know that that's what people want. Some people only come here for the water park and they have a favorite water park ride. So we want to be able to speak to that guest differently than we do today. So that's this section. Let's talk about what's happening there. Thank you. So will become our bar. However, Schooners is a Dorney Park brand that we created. We named it, we created it. It only exists here at Dorney Park. There is, however, a bar brand that is across the family of parks, and it's called 21 and Colder. So this will become the 21 and Colder bar. What's great about this is that the construction that we're doing, there's some pictures here where you can see what's going to happen. If you guys want to look at the windows, you can see the construction. What's great about this is that this will be the first time that we have any kind of indoor seating in the water park. So it'll still be the same bar concept, the walk-up bar and everything that you want, but you'll also have the opportunity to spend some time in there. There'll be seats, tables to be able to sit, get some air conditioning, because that doesn't exist anywhere in the water park at all. So we're really excited about that. Along with that, the 21 and Colder brand has a style of merchandise that goes with it. That'll be available. It probably won't be available to purchase in the fair. There's a couple items I threw up on the boards there. And then all of the drinkware will be branded as 21 and Colder. So we'll still have the frozen beverages that we had before, the pina coladas, the rum and cokes, and all of that. And you'll be able to get that in a yard right there. It'll still have the beers on tap and still be a full service bar, so it'll be great. There'll be some snacks that we offer in here as well, so it'll be a great setup. It's also a really great setup for the retail side, because this store, for the whole store that it was, the storage for this was less than like a 10 by 10 room for them to store all of the products. There was a shed that was behind this. I should have shown it to you. But there was a shed that's behind this building that is a 20 by 10 shed, and that was their entire storage for this entire big old gift shop. So with this change, there's a storage area that's behind the wall there, but then there will be a big storage area in here for this store. So we'll be able to help guests quicker and make sure that we always have product available for everybody. We can replenish throughout.
Are they using what used to be the, or is it still the employee cafeteria back in there?
Still, yes.
Oh, it's still there?
Yeah. There had been like a space where all of the beverage lines had. You guys are familiar with the Kids Caf?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's in the back.
That
was
really
closed
open.
last year.
Yeah.
Yes. So it will be open this year. The thought is that becomes the new space.
Oh, that's cool.
So that is
awesome.
the plan. I don't know that we'll have it for the open of the water park. We're trying for it, but we're hoping that
It'll come online at some point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're talking about some like new interesting things that could be offered there. So like, don't quote this. I know some of you are videoing me. So no promises, but we were in discussions and probably going to test like a Dippin' Dots float in there.
Ooh.
I had the same reaction. I was like, ooh, this is fancy.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So we might try to do something like that over there. So there's something that is a different kind of offering back there, but also have adult beverages and snacks and different things that are back there as well. It's great. Any other questions? And they have a ton of swim-up bars, so I was kind of looking at that concept and how we can maybe do something similar here. Right now, the rides just aren't set up to work like that.
Yeah.
But it is a very interesting concept that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What's some of the the total cost of doing it?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
It is, in my opinion, it's cheaper than what you think it is. So like in totality, this is like less than $1 million.
We're just waiting for everybody to catch up.
Good, Kristen. How are you doing?
Good. Ready for season?
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Our zoning here, who's our director of operations, safety, and security. We're going to be telling you about Lightning Falls Reimagined this year. So Lightning Falls was one of our older slides. It was put in 1989, so was definitely due for a refurb. If you guys want to look behind you, there's actually a diagram of what the new slides are going to look like. So I have some information on the lengths of the old versus the new slide. So on the right is the A slide, and on the left is the B slide. So on the original slides, the A slide was 466 feet, and the B slide was 462 feet. On the new slides, the A slide is going to be 477 feet, and the B slide is going to be 515 feet. So they're both going to be a little bit longer than the original slides.
Nice.
Yeah. Another thing we're really excited about is the slides are going to be able to accommodate double and single rider slides. So we're very excited about that. Going to be able to get more people on the slides. We have some fiberglass pieces over here, and as you can see, they're all kind of like different effects, I'll say. So the one on the bottom is like a translucent piece, so there'll be some pieces that are more opaque and some pieces that are more translucent. There's also pieces that have different kind of shapes that are translucent, so there's some circle pieces and some with some dashes. So when you're sliding, it's going to create kind of different like optical illusions as you're sliding that are going to look really cool. You can kind of see them on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have an employee that's from Turkey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have some international students
Yep.
in there too, so cool fun fact. Behind me, so these are different pieces for the supports. So you can see that one over there is more of a built one, and these are the pieces that are used to assemble it. So these are the plates and these are the posts. So we are doing some work with the supports, just due to different parts.
No, so most of the foundations are staying, but we did add another 360, so we do have to add additional foundation base. But when you bring in engineering and they come through and over like lifeguard, so they're talking about the lights. You come back and forth. We're not sure.
When you're flying through it.
Early May, we can start doing test rides.
So what is a test ride for a water slide? Like, do you actually send somebody down the water slide?
Yeah, so we have to do a minimum of 100 rides per slide.
Wow, that's
But you
crazy.
also want to test varying like weights and heights and body shapes and
So is that all you guys that do that?
It does not. I'm too old for that now.
It's our aquatics
yes,
team.
Oh, okay, cool.
Stephanie does.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be out
fantastic.
there. I'll be the first one.
Awesome. You want to be the first one?
Well,
This is the Snake Pit Pump House. This ride was built in 2014. I was working here already when it was built, so we've seen everything basically from start to finish. Filter pump. We calibrate this like 4 times a day, sometimes more. Sometimes you'll come in here, it's accurate, sometimes it's way off. Depending on sunlight, bather load, and what time of day it is. A day like today, chlorine would last long, but the sun comes out and it just burns it up. Yeah. It's an okay system.
I will say, a lot of space back here. You could do something. Hopefully we see that soon.
So catering itself, we have 3 different locations. I have Carousel Grove where I can feed 750. I have Parkside Pavilion where I can feed 2,000, and then I have Fest House Grove where I can feed another 2,000. So if we do a buyout or a really big group, we're feeding a lot of people really quickly. So with that, in catering specifically, last year we fed 203 groups, over 87,000 people across all 3 facilities. So I do usually use that cheese sauce. Okay? So that was just out of this facility alone. We're going to come over here to this side. produce it here out of our road. The addition of these, now these machines here are called Nikos. So this is like a flame broiled belt that we do the burgers. So just last year alone, we cooked over 89,000 burgers. So this machine is up and running. I can fit 6 burgers across the belt at a time where it rotates. We're bringing back the fresh cut fry for center stage this year, so you guys will get that. And my sous chef Caesar is coming along with the deep fried tasty cakes. So if you guys had those last year at Iron Mill Grill. So we get in the tasty cake crumpet, and then we batter it in the funnel cake mix, and then deep fry it. So if you guys are hungry, help yourselves.
And well guys, that's going to do it today here from Winter Chill out here at Dorney Park. I hope you all enjoyed it. Huge thanks to Dorney Park for having us all out. We always really appreciate it. Always a great time. But anyways guys, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the fun stuff I got going on here on PANJ Thrills. The season is just among us, so there's going to be a lot of great content coming soon. But anyways guys, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.